Charanakamalephyo Namaha. Sri Shukadeva Goswami says, O King Parikshit, when churning of the ocean began, the leading demigods and leading demons were holding the Mandārāchala hill, which was used as a churning rod. Still, the Mandārāchala was going down in the ocean and is almost drowning. Seeing Mandārāchala hill drowning, the Supreme Lord thought, if Mandārāchala hill drowned, then it will become impossible to extract nectar from the ocean. Thus, Supreme Lord decided to adopt a turtle form and enter into the ocean. So the Lord, whose name is Ajita, he took the form of a turtle and went under Mandārāchala hill and lifted up. So Mandārāchala would not sink anymore. Mandārāchala rested on the back of the Supreme Lord who was in the form of turtle. The churning of ocean was going on and sped up. So Mandārāchala was jumping on the back of the turtle Lord. So the Lord took another form unseen to the eyes and went up atop of Mandārāchala hill and pressed it down with his palm. He was not a Mandārāchala, but only his hand was. So because it sped up churning was sped up, the pressure came on Vasuki's snake. So he vomited a lot of poison, which tormented the demons, because demons were on the side of his face. So demons tolerated the poison. The Supreme Lord is called Ananta or unlimited. He took the form of a turtle and stayed under the Mandārāchala hill, which was used as a churning rod. And he was unseen on top, keeping his palm over Mandārāchala and pressing it down so it stays. When you churn milk or yogurt, at that time, churning rod has to be about 4 to 5 inches down the milk or yogurt, so it can be churned and butter can be taken out. Similarly, Mandārāchala also has to be somewhat down from the surface of water. So, both sides Lord had to be there. Plus, Lord manifested into demoniac strength and entered inside the demons to give them energy and encouragement. And then he turned into divine energy and entered inside the demigods to give them more powers and enthusiasm. So, churning can be done faster. Like that. Lord took several incarnations like that, manifestations. Even though the churning was going on and long time and nothing came out, then Lord himself came and used the churning by himself, putting both hands and both sides of Mandalachal hill, holding the Basuki snake from both sides and churning, unseen to demigods and demons. He himself was churning. Seeing this surprising act of the Supreme Lord, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, who were watching from heavens, they praised the Lord and showered flowers upon the Lord. When long time passed, nectar did not emanate. Then the Supreme Lord, who rewards fearlessness to everyone, held again both sides of Basuki and did fast, quick. And with that, there was a great turbulent commotion in the ocean. With that, all the aquatics, they became perturbed and ran from there another place. When the churning was not stopped and carried on, then very acute, powerful poison came out. In Sanskrit, we call it halahala. Halahala means acutely poisonous, poison, very powerful. It came out. Sri Suta Goswami ji says, any person who does not have virtuous qualities, that person is called demoniac. Any person who has virtuous qualities, that person is called divine or demigodic. Every person should have divine qualities. Virtuous qualities, when they suppress the bad qualities, then that person reaches a real guru, called Sadguru in Sanskrit. Real, honest, pure devotee, spiritual master, who shows that person the path to reach the Supreme Lord, called devotional path. The spiritual master himself is very close to the Supreme Lord, always, and extends his mercy to his disciple and teaches him or her how to chant the holy name of the Lord and execute devotional service. Means spiritual master engages his disciples in the service of the Supreme Lord. Actually, spiritual master also teaches how to use the churning rod-like devotional service to churn the ocean of this material existence using the churning rope, using detachment as a churning rope, and churn and receive self-realization nectar like self-realization. When a devotee becomes self-realized, then his vision or her vision changes and they at end receive liberation. The spiritual master also teaches how to not be attached to the objects of sense gratification, should not be very greedy for material affairs. Those disciples who carry on whole their life, churning the material existence through the churning rod of devotional service, using the detachment rope of Vasuki like churning rope, then at first there are many problems and obstacles come that represent the poison. As halahala came out from the ocean, like that. When problems come on the path of devotee, many problems, problem from husband, problem from wife, problem from children, problem from parents, problem from friends, relatives, problem from politics, political leaders, problem from government, problem from material nature. Problems come. That is the halahala wish. That is the poison, acute poison that first comes. If the devotee tolerates the problems and remains fixed in devotional service, God loves that devotee. If devotional service has no problems, then there is no progress in that devotional life. If devotee does not face problems while in devotional service, then he or she will not progress in spiritual path. Problem must be there. So the devotee can progress. And their faith, how staunch and strict the devotee is, would be found out like that. When Lord sees the devotee does not give up his devotional service or devotional service to him, Lord extends his help to that devotee and comes taking a form of his Lord Shiva and drinks the poison like obstacles on devotional path. Just imagine how much Lord helps. Without the help of the Lord, devotee cannot progress. Lord comes to drink the poison of problems from the path of devotee, devotional service, and keeps the devotee safe, spiritually safe. So later on, devotee can obtain nectar-like liberation from that churning of spiritual practice. Sri Sutta Goswami further says, everyone who is born in this world has to act. Everyone. Everyone has to do something. There is no work which does not have problems. Every work has problems. Especially in Kali Yuga, when you practice spiritual life or some kind of auspicious act you do, problems will carry on occurring. Sure. Those who are less intelligent or those who are not very fortunate, They cannot tolerate problems. And they think, oh, how come there are problems? I took to spiritual path. The guy took spiritual, he has problems. Why there is problems on the spiritual path? And they give it up. That is their test. But those who never give up devotional path, they are called the fixed devotees. Those who tolerate problems after problems after problems after problems and never give up, they are called fixed devotees. They are very fortunate because they are earning Lord Krishna's blessings. Those who think, even if sun falls down from the sky or moon falls down, if the whole material nature, everyone turns against me, I will not give up spiritual life. That is called fixed devotee. And that kind of devotee is wanted by God. Even if ocean dries up, I will not give up devotion. If somebody shoots me, I don't care. I will not give up devotional service. That is called a Drudha Pratikya in Sanskrit. Fixed devotee. Liberation personified comes to such a devotee with folded hands and says, please accept me. And devotee says, you wait outside my door. Perfection, personality of perfection comes. Please accept me. He says, wait outside my door. I am busy. Because devotional service is such a busy act. Such devotees are loved by Lord Krishna. One has to be such a devotee. And removes the poison-like obstacles and problems from the path of such a devotee. Then Sri Sukadeva Goswami says, when acute poison emanated from ocean and spread in all directions in the ocean, because ocean naturally has waves, everybody got disturbed. And then, by the advice of the Supreme Lord, the demigods took shelter of Lord Shiva. They went to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was busy with his wife Uma at that time, when demigods reached. There are many great sages there. They were engaged in doing some services there for them. Seeing Lord Shiva, the demigods prayed to him to pacify him first and told him about the acute poison that emanated from ocean. And they needed his help, they said. Hearing the prayers done by demigods, the wife of Lord Shiva thought, Sati, her name, she thought, when there is a need of help, these people come here and praise my husband. And when their work is done, they don't even think about us. They don't come. Now they want my husband to drink poison. That's why they're here. And my husband is so very innocent. Whatever one asks, he never says no, just gives. And after giving that kind of boon, and later on we suffer, we experience problems. Everybody is interested to fulfill their motives. All those who come here, they are only selfish. Actually, it is a fact. Sati Devi, her name is Sati, not Parvati yet. She thought there are limited sense objects to gratify senses, and there are more demands, and there is no enough supply of sense objects to them. That's why there are quarrels and disagreements and frustrations in human society. They're all upset because there is no sufficient satisfaction from sense gratification. But if everyone becomes selfish and have self-centered ideas, then whole human society will turn into hell. There should be some people who are interested to help others, not motivated to themselves, but want to help others, tolerating their own discomforts and extending the helping hand to remove others' problems. Such people have to exist. So my husband is like that one. So Parvati Devi appreciated her husband's acts. In the same time, she did not want her husband to drink the poison. So when Lord Shiva, Sukadeva Goswami says, when Lord Shiva saw that his wife is not very happy with the request of the demigods to take care of the poison, Lord Shiva thought the devotee's quality is to not tolerate others' discomforts and feel unhappy when sees others' discomfort. Devotee's earnest desire is to not be able to tolerate others' discomfort, and due to poison everybody is unhappy, so he must do something. Thinking this, he spoke to his wife Sati. That we will discuss next. Thank you very much.